Hi, I'm Bill from CJ Pony Parts. We've done a lot of videos showing you how to install parts from the GT350 on regular 2015 through 2016 Mustangs. Without a doubt, one of the most popular parts has been the GT350 Alcantara steering wheel. Whether you prefer the red stitching of the R or the silver stitching of the standard wheel, these Alcantara wheels make an excellent upgrade for any 2015 through 2016 Mustang. If you love the feel of the Alcantara and would like to add more, today we're going to show you how to install these custom Alcantara console lid covers. We're going to show you several different upgrades for your interior using Alcantara suede, but the first is going to be these console lid covers. They're going to be available in two different versions. We have a darker version with red stitching, which will match your R wheel, and then a slightly lighter version with silver stitching to match the standard GT350 wheel. The Alcantara suede comes pre-cut to fit your console lid and includes new foam as well. Thankfully, it's not going to glue over your factory console lid. You're actually going to take the lid apart, remove the factory material, and replace it with this to give it a nice OEM look when it's finished. For this installation, you need a plastic pry bar, T20 Torx bit, sharp knife or flathead screwdriver, small set of needle nose pliers, scissors or razor blade, adhesive or pneumatic stapler. The first step in the installation process is to remove the console lid so we can do the installation outside of the vehicle. The first thing you want to do for the installation is remove this trim panel so we can get to the screws to remove the lid from the car. To do that, get a small plastic pry bar, just pry from the top here, then it'll come right off. Now to remove the console lid, there's 4 T20 Torx screws to remove from the hinge. And then once you have the screws out, there's one small electrical connector you have to remove. So clip right underneath the bottom, pull up, and remove the lid. With the console lid off the car, the first step here is to remove the release mechanism to give us more room to get the material inside here. It's held on by these 2 T20 Torx screws. Put that aside. Now comes what's probably the most tedious part of the installation. The factory cover is held on by all of these staples. So all the staples are going to have to be removed before we can install our new cover. Using a knife, small flat blade screwdriver, just basically underneath them and pop them up. If you get any that get stuck, small pair of needle nose, just pop them right out. Since we have a black and red theme with our 2015 GTRA, we're going to go with the black and red style console lid cover. At this point, you're going to need some adhesive, some sort of a general automotive trim adhesive. 3M stuff will work great. Headliner glue is going to work fine. Any of these will work okay. In our case, we're going to use the headliner glue. It's a little easier not to make a mess with it. The general trim adhesive will do the job. You're going to be very careful when spraying it, because if you get any kind of adhesive on the Alcantara itself, you're never going to get it off. Now the first step of the process here is to glue the foam to the actual console lid. Make sure this piece here, this does come off, make sure this stays on. You will need this, you'll never get, it just won't look right without it. What you want to do, there's 2 sides of the foam. There's the actual foam side, and there's the cloth side. The glue goes on the cloth side. What you want to do is put some on here as well, and let it set up, let it get sticky. If you put it on wet, it's not going to hold right. You got to get a little tackiness to it and then put it on. Gonna spread some all over here. Make sure we get it down on the edges here. You want to make sure the foam actually glues to the console lid, not just this pad in the middle. It's a little tacky. Let's center this over the foam. And now let that dry. All right, once you give it an adequate time to dry and set up, now what we're going to do is we're going to trim the foam basically right along the edge of the lid. Use razor blade, scissors, whatever you have handy. You want to make sure you have a clean surface to work on, no glue, no contaminants, something like that. Put the Alcantara face down. Grab our lid. Start lining it up. If you look, you see there's a little notch in the front and a matching notch in the back. You want to make sure the stitched area lines up with that on the front and the back. That way you'll know everything is centered. Now here you have two options. The original one is held on by staples. If you happen to have a pneumatic stapler and access to those small staples, then you can staple it just like the factory was. I'm gonna assume most people watching this video probably don't have that tool in their toolbox. So you also, there's another option, you can glue it, and that's what we're gonna do here. So what you wanna do, same kind of process as before. We're gonna put glue in this whole edge in here where our Alcantara is gonna stick to. And we're also gonna put it on the edge of the Alcantara material itself. And again, we're gonna let it get a little bit tacky before we stick it in place. You wanna be really, really careful with this step. And make sure, again, the glue stays in the inside here. You wanna make sure you only get it on the edge of our new material. If you get it on the outside of the suede, you'll never get it off. Again, just work your way around it slowly. Make sure you keep it tight. Keep tension on it at all times. So you may find yourself you have to use a little bit extra glue. Once you start pushing, you'll notice the glue will start drying a little bit. It will set up a little bit better. If you have a little bit loose in the corners here, don't worry about it too much because the cover plate will cover it. Now we're going to reinstall the release. Make sure you have the spring seated properly and it goes in the factory location here. And we can bolt that back down. All right, ready to put it back in the car. Okay, putting the lid back in. Don't forget to plug in a small electrical connector on the side over here. And the last step, we're going to reinstall the trim panel. And your installation is finished. The Alcantara Console Lid looks great in the interior of our 2015 Mustang GT. As you can see, we paired it up with the matching parking brake boot, the shift boot, along with the original GT350R steering wheel and a few other GT350 parts to give it a really nice custom look. The whole package works great together and really transforms the interior. As far as the installation, if I had to do it again, I'd say use the 3M spray adhesive. It's a little bit easier to use than the stuff that I went with, but overall figure about 2 hours, be back on the road in no time.